So way back in November, I made an episode talking about like my political opinions, the political state of the world, all that kind of stuff. It actually ended up being, at least to this day at the time of recording, the most viewed long podcast episode that I have made on this show. And the reason for that was because I was probably pretty hateful in my speech, pretty derogatory, I guess, in intentional, let's say, with the thumbnail design and the title of the video to try and be a little bit controversial, let's say, in terms of my opinion on the political situation of the world. But it was way back then, like I still had like the crappy green background with like the old microphone. Like it was really like early days of the show, really. Like back then. I think it was still like within the first 50 episodes, I think, of the 365 podcast. Obviously, 365 podcast, it's an episode every day for a whole year. If you're new here and you don't know about that yet, that's what I'm doing, and that's what this show's all about. But today I'm going to kind of give a little update as to where my politics are, because I don't really talk about politics on the show. That's something I don't really touch upon, and it's for a reason, right? And I'm going to get into it in today's episode. But I'm going to go over what I'm kind of thinking about right now and kind of comparing it a little bit to that episode I did make in November that got a lot of views. I'm not going to be hateful. Like, I'm going to try my best to be respectful and honest and it's just me giving my own thoughts and my own take to things in as neutral of a perspective as I can. So I apologize in advance if I do say something that's a little bit too far, a little bit controversial, but this is just my opinion. This is just how I see the world. This is just what makes the most sense to me. And like the types of people that I have around me, I kind of would like, I'd like to have that type of a person around me. I don't want a person who's going to be dividing because of politics, let's say. So let's get into it. My political opinion is pretty simple. It's like politics don't matter. That's my stance. I think politics is designed purposefully to keep people apart, to divide people. And I've gone through this many other times, not just in that episode. Like the whole idea about how governments and how the people that run the world, they want us to be divided in whatever way. They use politics as one of those vehicles. Some other vehicles can be racism, it can be sexism, feminism, like the sex differences. Just a couple of examples right there. Ways like the classes, like upper class, middle class, lower class. It's all narrative. That's my belief, and I think I see it as true the more and more I go through it. Back then, when I made the episode, that's really what I talked about. I talked about how it's kind of just a load of crap. It's a load of garbage, but maybe I was a little bit too like over the top with it, which is why it got good views. But at the same time, there were a lot of hate comments. So I was like, so it's like that's not really the type of mentality, the type of narrative that I want to have around my show. I want it to be respectful, and I want to, of course, glorify God through my show. So when it comes to politics, I don't find any use in it at all. And I've just been doing my best, and sometimes things slip through the cracks, but I've been doing my best to just distance myself from it as much as possible, trying to focus on myself. Like having a little bit of an idea of things, because you don't want to be completely ignorant, because, the ignorance can maybe be a little bit naive, right? You do want to know a couple of things that are going on, right? You look at why your gas prices are through the roof, and then you can figure out the reason why. The political scene can give you some reasons for that. But I feel like that's more economical. Like, you need to really, like when you say, oh, let's talk about the political and economic state of the world type thing, you need to really know the difference between politics and economics, right? Economics is probably more about the money, like actually what things look like, right? When gas prices are high, that's more of an economical problem. When your country's GDP is not really in a good place, that's more of an economical problem, right? When you're not making a lot of money, when your country's in a lot of debt because of decisions of other people, that's an economical problem. The politics is like the narratives, the whole like election season type of thing. Obviously, the actual decisions that are being made, the policies and the laws that are being put in place for a certain purpose, a certain goal. Usually, spoiler alert, usually that goal is not for the benefit of the people. It is just for the benefit of the elites and for the benefit of the inner circle of the person running it. That's I think the biggest truth of the matter. And that's why I don't talk about politics, because I think if you're going to be the type of person that aligns respectfully, right? Respectfully. If you're going to be the type of person that aligns with one side or the other, you don't really know, like, it's like you don't really know, right? You have no power to change anything. There's no point in having a debate. You're a liberal and this guy's a conservative, and then you go clash together. Oh, like, oh, we got to save the environment, and then this guy's like, no, we got to go to war, or whatever the argument may be, right? You're not going to do anything by being where you are and arguing these things. The only reason it is there, and the only reason these things, like the only reason politics is such a divisive culture and the nature of it is like that, the only reason is because it's designed purposefully to keep us apart. Because the more people are united, the more people actually realize how much of the government is against us, how much the people that run the world truly don't want the average man to succeed. And they want to keep themselves high in the power, how power hungry they are. The more people are united to that fact, the more of a chance that we can have a bit of a revolution, not really like a revolution, but like we have more of a say in things. We have more of a rebellion of things. Apologies for the stuttering, but we will rebel a little bit against the system. You need to know first that like the system exists, that like right and left, they're best friends. Like they make a show out of it. They do their debates, they do their elections, their campaigns, all that stuff. But reality is they're all kind of working together. They're working together because they have a bigger goal. The bigger goal is to be in power and to screw over the common man, the average person, make it as messed up as possible. You look at the way the world is, and it's like a lot of people's opinions are perhaps, oh, these politicians are stupid. Like you could just easily do this and then this situation would be fixed. The reason isn't because they're stupid. It's because they want it messed up. They are purposefully messing up many different things in society. It starts with the political, and obviously it leans towards the economical, because obviously it's the political decisions that lead to economical problems, which is why you have to have at least a little bit of a knowledge of the things going on in the political sphere, because the economical things, like when the price of eggs is $10, like that affects you, right? When it affects you, that's when it becomes a problem, right? So you need to have a little bit of a knowledge of what's going on, but you shouldn't make that your entire worldview. You shouldn't make that your entire personality. And I believe some people, they just don't have a lot going on in their lives. Their lives are kind of boring and sad and miserable. And unfortunately, then the politics and like the rush, the thrill that comes from debating and proving people wrong and all that kind of stuff is what gives them their identity. There are a lot of people like that in the political world. And I find it sad. I honestly find it sad because there's way more to life that is so much more abundant, so much more fruitful, so much more useful to you than to focus on politics, right? If I were to give my own political opinions, I would say like I lean more right. Of course, I think I naturally lean more to the right. You could probably see in some of the things I talk about on this show, I lean more to the right. And this is kind of what I was talking about back then in the previous episode as well, where I lean to the right, but I don't really focus on that. Like I try my best, and I've seen it how I've got into some very, very harsh, hard political arguments with certain people, because when it kind of spirals out of control, that's all it leads to. You're never going to actually agree on anything. Even if you're on the same side, you'll have differences in terms of like the nuances of your opinion. But if you're on different sides, it can be very, very easy for you to hate a person because they disagree with you politically. And that's a huge problem, right? That's a huge problem. You can have like your best friend, and this is the case with me. I have my best friend. He's more of a liberal type of leaning person. When we got into huge debates and arguments, I was over here saying like, who the hell is this guy, right? Like why do I still talk to this guy? It's a terrible influence on me. That's the trap of politics, and all it is a trap, because you realize, oh, every other quality about this guy is great, and we're friends because of these great qualities we share together and the memories we've made together. You're really going to be so weak and let this political argument, this thing, get in the way? But that is the nature and the design of politics, is that it does that. It destroys relationships. It destroys and divides the people around you because of their political opinions. Every other aspect of them goes out the window when you're talking about the politics. And then you'll dehumanize them. You'll think, oh, they have bad morals. You even, like, sometimes you can even go that extreme. You can go that far to believing those things, and then that's how you ruin relationships. The point is, that is the whole trap of politics. It is just a trap. It is just a trick. So that is why I've been in recent times just forgetting about it. I've been at a lot more peace, actually, not having any of these political discussions. Every time something coming up politically, just not really having a hand in it, just taking a step back or leaving the room or whatever. Right? I've been at a lot more peace, and I've been having a lot better relationships with people around me because I've just thrown this away, thrown this stupid ideology away, and focus solely on the person, right? The value of the relationships with the people around me, not letting this political thing be the divider between the people I love and the people I care about. It's very sad because a lot of people make it that big. They make it that big of a divide because that's the nature of it. And the people that run the world they're all on the same side, left and right on the same side. They're rubbing their hands. They're happy. They see all this turmoil, the riots, the wars, the chaos, and they're happy. They're like, yes, perfect. No one's going to suspect that we're doing all these terrible things in cahoots, right? But I believe that is the real ultimate truth. That that they work together, left and right work together, and the common man is the one that suffers always because people are power hungry. And I really don't think that there is anyone that actually truly cares about the world. I'm going to talk about Trump. I'm going to mention his name, and I'm going to mention the whole thing that he's dealing with and the whole thing that's going on. I personally am not sure about Trump. I'm not sure. Like, it's very hard to tell. You look at narratives and you look at how many people just like are immediately going to say, "Oh, this guy's an idiot," right? And you're like, "Okay, that can't be right, right? That can't be the right way." Obviously, he's still like getting us into wars, so it's like that's obviously like there's some part of him that's not good, but because of his previous term and because of some of the good things he's done, which the people on the left, for example, won't be talking about as much. Again, the divisive nature, it's not impartial, it's all based on biases. I've gone through it already. I've gone through just how divisive it is. So it's like I look at it, it's like, okay, well, he's not completely bad like the left say, but he's also not like good, right? I think maybe he does care about the people, but then he also does things that show that he probably doesn't care about the people. So it's like you think about it and it's like, where do you stand? So my opinion is just pretty much like I don't know, right? I was in that mode. I was in that, oh, Trump's going to come in, he's going to do it, things are going to be good, right? And then slowly, as he actually got elected, as some of the decisions he made follow through, as the whole Epstein Island thing came out, as the whole Charlie Kirk situation, you start to think, and now the Iran war and whatever else. Obviously, I say I don't know much about the political scene, but I know the big things, right? That's my point. You don't want to be completely ignorant. So I know the big things, the things that actually make a difference. So I like when these things have kind of come out a little bit, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to join the clan of saying, oh, he's 100% a bad person that hates the world and he's just like everyone else. I'm still not so sure, but I know for sure he's not like the savior that like everyone was touting him to be when he was in his election campaign. Like, that's the trap, right? And it's like, would Kamala have been any better, right? It's like, you know what I mean? Just kind of think about where we would be if Kamala Harris was the president of the United States. Like, I feel like we're probably a little bit better off. But that's just my opinion, right? That's just my opinion. Many people on the left will disagree, and perhaps even people on the right might disagree too, because there are a lot of people on the right that are mad at Trump, right? So you look at that, and I've tried my best to not be so mean. Like, I've tried to just be impartial. This is just my opinion, me talking about the things that I'm looking at based on my own life experiences that make the most sense to me. But you look at this situation, you're not convinced, right? So Trump being the only guy that maybe would have had the chance to actually help people, it's not really looking like it's going that way, right? So as I've seen it truly just makes it more clear to me that there is no political person out there that actually cares about the common man, that actually is doing anything. There might be some guy, like maybe there'll be some guy in the Senate or the House of Commons, whatever country you're in, like whatever your political system looks like in Parliament. There might be like one guy, maybe a couple of people that actually care, but they don't have enough power. Like, they don't have enough voting power to actually make an important change, because everyone else will override them, because everyone else doesn't really care. All the bureaucrats and all the people that just want to keep their jobs, they just want to lobby, they just want to make the money through insider trading, all that kind of stuff. You saw some of that stuff come out, right? It's like none of that's conspiracy theories anymore. None of that is a conspiracy theory. It's all kind of out there now. It's all been kind of revealed that, like, yeah, the insider trading exists, like the system, the bureaucrats, all of that stuff. It is there. It is real. So knowing that it is real, and unfortunately people are still convinced that it's not real. I don't know, but you can't help those people. If you know it's real, then why are we still so focused on left versus right? Why is that still a thing? If we know that that is the whole point, they're trying to divide us, they're trying to keep us kind of like just in our own heads, really. Why is that? Like, why do we continue to fall into those things, those hard arguments, debates, hating other people, the resentment? Because we know it's a problem, right? And that's where I think political like biases and the political scene, like, that's why I don't want to touch upon it at all, right? Again, I've made the mistake perhaps of touching upon it a little bit today, admittedly, but But that's why I don't touch upon it at all. And this is like, honestly, like this will probably be like the last episode on the show. And there's still like over 100 episodes left I have to make. This will probably be the last episode on the show where I talk about anything related to politics, unless something like absolutely crazy happens, right? But this will be the last time because I really don't want to have that be the thing that I'm known for. I don't like it can be something that gets you a lot of views because it's very divisive in its nature, and all people want to do, especially on the internet, just want to argue and they just want to prove themselves as right. Don't even get me started on the actual like on the internet and how that has heightened everything on Twitter and all that stuff, like how that's heightened everyone's division and extremities and all that kind of stuff. Don't even get me started on that. Maybe I'll touch upon it a little bit, but like the internet's just made it worse. That's really all you need to kind of know. The internet's made all of these things that I'm talking about, the division, like it has exponentially heightened it because now you're behind a screen and now there's no filter. You can say whatever nasty, terrible things you want about someone's character just because of their political views. That perhaps is that's going to probably lead me to transition to the next thing. Like that's where it actually gets dangerous. That's where like having this political ideology be all that you care about gets dangerous because it goes from just having a civilized conversation and you're just talking, okay, I disagree with you on this point, I agree with you on this point, whatever, to then you're going and you're demeaning the person's character. You then go away from the actual topic at hand and start to talk about their character, talk about who they are, their morals as a person. That's where politics can fall out of line, right? It's like you're having a political debate. If we were all able to just have a civilized political debate and then kind of come to the conclusion of what the truth really is of the matter and kind of move forward together, that'd be great, right? Society would benefit probably a lot from that. But we can't. We can't. Because very, very quickly when someone disagrees with you on something, when someone pushes back, gives you some sort of a friction against something, you very quickly, a lot of people, especially on the internet, like more so than anywhere else, will immediately go and demean their character. They're not even going to go and formulate a good argument against what this person may have said. They just go straight to the character. Oh, you're stupid for believing that. Oh, you're dumb. Like your morals are out of line. All that kind of stuff. That's where politics leads you. And it is more common than you might think. It is not a fringe concept to say that is immediately where the majority of political debates go. When I was talking and I was with Francesco, when I had him on the show a few weeks ago, you should go check that one out. It was pretty good. That was honestly a good example of debating on a couple of political topics. Like, do you want to call abortion a political topic? Maybe, maybe not, whatever you want to say, right? But a couple of political topics, that was an example of actual civilized debate where we weren't insulting each other. Like he was kind of doing some funny bits just for content, and I recognized that, and obviously we talked about it after. But like we were truly just trying to have a conversation, and we were truly trying to just make something entertaining for the show, of course, but also something to actually bounce ideas off of each other type of thing. That's a good example of how a political debate can go well, but it's very rare to find. And admittedly, like I'll get vulnerable here, like me and Francesco have gotten into way harsher and way more intense arguments that like really fell off the rails at times. But I feel like at least for me, like I don't hate him for it, like I forgive him for it, like we've overcome those things and we're great friends. I don't know how he thinks, but that's his own thing, that's his own battle to deal with. But the point is, it's like that was a good example of it. But even me and him, we would go through it, right? Because when you let politics just be at the forefront of everything, I've just seen so many times how it just leads to so many problems, right? So my warning is honestly just don't focus on the politics. Like your life has way more that is more meaningful and abundant to it than your political views. Your political views shouldn't be your identity. If it is your identity, it will only lead to a lot of anger, to a lot of problems, a lot of rage, a lot of resentment. And those aren't qualities, feelings that you want to really be having in your life in any case for whatever reason at all. And politics is a huge, 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 huge way that those things come about. So that's my warning to you, is that like you don't want to fall into that trap. You need to understand that that's exactly what the people that run the world want, is for you to hate the people around you and be divided and feel like you're by yourself, you're in your own little bubble, isolate yourself, because that means you're not going to be a threat to them, right? You're not going to be a threat to their power. And I'm not saying you have to be a threat to their power, but just you thriving in your life, you being a success, you making it big in whatever the thing is a threat to the people that run the world, because money, unfortunately, we live in a world where money is pretty powerful, right? And if you have a lot of money and you have the types of values that you're not going to be swayed by these political opinions, then you're in your own bubble. Like, you're your own person, and that independence, and you'll attract the people that are kind of similar in their natures. You band together. That will be the thing that the people at the top are really the most scared of, because those are the types of people that will realize, oh, hey, these guys are not going to help us. Let's focus on our own thing, right? Those are the people that are going to rebel against the system and that are going to do certain things to just not really care about what's happening, right? And and live great lives for themselves and thrive and prosper, right? They don't want people thriving and prospering. But the only thing you can focus on is yourself, right? Is how you can actually make a difference in the world, how you can prosper in your life, and of course, use that wealth and use that success to help the world in a better way rather than just political agendas, right? It's like, it's a very, very tough thing. And it's like, because the whole point of government, right? I'm just going to talk about another little segment, right? Next segment, let's say, right? Like, you want the government to help you, right? The government is there supposedly for people's safety. Supposedly, they make laws to help people, to help society thrive, to help things be smooth, to keep criminals off the streets, right? To help as many people as possible thrive in this society and make good livings for themselves. And the more people do that, the better the country will survive, the better the society will be, and the world can just thrive and prosper and continue to grow and grow and grow. But that's like really not the case right now. Like, you ask the question, then why is it not the case, right? Why aren't people thriving? There are certain people that are thriving, but why are the majority of people struggling to pay the bills? Why is there so much crime on the streets, right? Why are people going to jail, being put in jail, and then being released, and then committing a crime, being put in jail again, right? Why is that a thing? Why are drugs on the streets still? Why is fentanyl such a huge crisis right now? I truly believe it would probably be such an easy thing to stop. Like, it would probably be such a simple thing to stop, but they don't want to stop it. They want to keep things as messed up as possible so that the common man, the average person, is screwed over. And the people that are at the top continue in their power, right? And the pay gap only increases, right? The class differences only continue to increase. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer, because the people that are in politics are friends with all of the rich people that are out there, right? Like, that's why I feel like that's honestly why New Yorkers voted for a guy like Mamdani, right? Because it's like, this guy is a type of profile that perhaps might be a little bit different to some of the things we've already been seeing. And I think I don't think he's correct. Like, I don't think what he's going to do is going to help the city. But I think I understand why people vote for him, because maybe people are sick and tired of the other side. People are sick and tired of, like, the elitism that seems to be very common among the people that are in politics, among the people that have this power, right? And Mamdani, at least in the way he politically campaigned, was to repel that. Again, I don't know where his true morals lie, and my opinion is it is all just a game, it is all just a joke, and it's like I feel like he's honestly involved with all that, and he's just putting on a show. But that's just my opinion, because I think they're all connected, and I think it makes the most sense to me that they are all connected, and that it's all just one big game, and the people at the top will only continue to get more powerful, and they're power hungry. You underestimate just how intense power can be for someone, just how much power can destroy someone. Like, I look at the works of the Bible, and there are some very, very tough and very, very intense, let's say, verses about power, about money, about status that can really destroy a man, right? And very powerful stories of how power has destroyed people in the biblical world, but it's very, very visible in modern society as well. So my whole point really about this whole thing is that politics is designed to divide. That's why I don't really put my skin in the game. I've said a couple of smaller political opinions today, but I don't really put the skin in the game, because it is meant to divide people. I think we need unity. We don't need division. We need unity in this society right now, because that is what will help a lot of people be a lot less depressed, a lot less anxious about things, have better social interaction, social communities. We need that unity within society, because I think society right now is very, very divided. And I feel like it is only getting worse, because more and more people are online, and the social media only makes all of these things I've talked about today even worse. And a lot of people just make the politics and this ideology their entire lifestyle, their entire personality, the entire thing they base their their entire philosophy off of. And it's a very divisive thing by nature. And I just don't like this. I don't like to see it personally in my heart. And I know that my decision will not be to let that be the thing that is my personality, right? That's not going to be my entire life, right? And I've learned, I guess, from my mistakes. I've learned from the arguments I've went through. I've learned about the division that I've already gone through at times in my life. And I now see, okay, let's not deal with that. Let's keep ourselves mildly informed, because you don't want to be completely ignorant, but you don't want to pick a side, right? You don't want to pick a side. You want to stay in the middle, because if you pick a side, you're basically saying anyone who disagrees with me, I hate, right? And anyone who agrees with me, I love. And that is a terrible, terrible way to live life. Terrible, terrible way to live life. It just, again, as I've said already, it leads to resentment, hate, all that type of bad feeling that really no one ever wants to be feeling for whatever reason. And final point I'm going to make is going to be I think, at least to me, it's the obvious point. That I don't fall left, I don't fall right, I fall at the center of the cross. My ideology is purely biblical. It is purely what Jesus Christ talks about. And I think belief in God, having faith in that is something that is much more capable of unifying people rather than dividing people. And that is where you can base your ideologies off of. Some things will be liberal. Some things will be conservative. But you're not focused on liberal, conservative. You're not focused on left versus right. You're focused on what does God want from you. And perhaps that, and following God's instruction and teaching, not focusing on where it lies politically, that is something that honestly is more valuable. It is something that leads to more fulfillment. It's something that can unify people way more than the political scene. And that's kind of where I lie, is that I try my best to glorify God. I try my best to read the Holy Word, to base my ideologies and base my principles off of biblical things, off of God's teachings, so that I can truly be an embodiment of Christ, so that I can actually live my life in a Christ-like way. Because I know it will not only be better for me, it will be better for me, but it won't just be better for me. It'll be better for the people around me. I will actually be able to help others in a more meaningful way. And I will truly be able to glorify God on this earth in a more meaningful way. And that will lead to so much fulfillment, so much love in my life, and so much unity with the people around me. And that is, and I'm going to say it quietly, but like, the people at the top don't want religion, because religion is a foundation, and it is like a belief in God, not like organized religion, but like a true internal belief relationship with Christ. It's something that is so much more powerful than all of these other narratives, that they are scared of it. They are scared of it, and they try their best. Especially like a couple years ago. I feel like now it's better. Like, it's definitely better. Like, a lot more people are a lot more open about their faith, whether Christian or Muslim or whatever other faith they have. A lot more people are allowed to be more open about it. But a few years ago, it was even worse, specifically to the Christians, of course, because I guess the narrative of the Christians being weak, because we are very tolerant about things, we need to kind of maybe be focused a lot more on our faith, and allow and truly speak out our faith more and more often. And I think that will help us spread the message of truth, spread the message of life and of love that Jesus truly brings. But now I think we're a lot better off. Like a few years ago, especially during COVID, like they were really trying to push God and like those types of things down. Like, you'd be seeing clips of like a football player, American football player, they'd win like the championship, and then they would be doing an interview, and like he'd say, "Oh, I'd love to thank God, and I'd like to thank Jesus Christ," and then in the post-production they edited that part out. Like, you saw certain things like that, and it was like, and it just left a sour taste in the mouth. Because I truly think that that is the biggest counter to all of these political divisions, and the people at the top, they know it, and that's why they're trying their best to move away from it. But as long as I live, and as long as many other faithful Christians and followers of Christ live, we're not going to let that happen, right? And I truly do believe that is the unity. That is where the unity is. It is through Christ, and it's through just the teaching that he brings. And God's instruction is not political. It is not left or right. It truly is something out on its own, let's say. Like, there are some things that, like, politically you can look at it, it's maybe on the left, and other things you can look at it's on the right? But the point is, like, you have some things on the left, some things on the right. So what does that mean? It's in the center. And also what it means is it's completely unrelated, right? So Jesus Christ unites the people, whereas politics, left versus right, divides the people. And I make that judgment in my own life, and I say that it makes way less sense to have politics be in your center. It makes way more sense to let God be in your center. Because not only will that help you live a more fulfilling life, it'll help you live with less hate and more love. And it will help you love others rather than hate them. It will help many others around you be unified and rejoice in each other's company and rebel against the system and all that kind of stuff that I was talking about earlier. God being the center of your life and of your world, there's nothing greater, man. There's nothing greater than that. And I think the primary reason is because it's love. God is love. Jesus Christ is love. How much God loves us is because he sacrifices himself on that cross. He goes through the worst pains imaginable despite being a sinless man, because he wants all of us to experience his love, and he wants us to truly be saved. So he saves us from our sins each and every day, being in remembrance of that fact, the cross, Jesus Christ, what he did on that cross, the sacrifice he went through for all of us. That's how much God loves us. So God is love, and belief in God is to say, love your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. It is loving the people around you. Whereas politics is, it really is more so hating the people around you. You like the people that are on your side because they reinforce your opinions, and you hate the people that are on the other side. You hate anyone who disagrees with your ideology. And what Christ says is, you can disagree, but still love each other. Don't demean your character for it. Don't hate each other for it. Love each other, come together, and be at peace with each other. You can have debates, but don't hate. But unfortunately, with politics, it always leads to hate. It always leads to hate. Whereas with God, with belief in Christ, it leads to love. And that's really the primary reason why that is the thing that makes the most sense. That is the thing that I put at the center of my life, and I believe everyone should put at the center of their lives, rather than anything that has to do with politics at all. So you can honestly say that that is my political opinion, that I don't really have a political opinion. My political opinion is whatever aligns with God's will, that is what I believe in. That is honestly something that is much more of a real and true foundation than anything political. Anything political. And it's unfortunate how sometimes religion and politics mix, because I guess the ideologies of religion kind of lean into political ideologies, but you need to be able to separate the two, because God is love and God is unity, and politics is division and politics is hate. That's kind of my opinion. That's how I differentiate it in my mind. And I understand that whenever someone says something that I disagree with and I hate them for it, okay, this is a political disagreement. This is not a theological, ideological disagreement. This is a political disagreement. This is not a religious disagreement. But whenever someone's saying something and they're like, and I'm like, okay, I disagree with you, but I still appreciate the idea. I still love you as a person. That is me thinking about God. That is me trying to glorify God, and that is a thing that is truly much more important, much more fruitful than anything political. So that is my talk on politics. That is really all I'm going to say about politics. Don't care how many views this video gets. If this video gets 10 views, fine. If it blows up because someone disagrees and someone says some hate comment about whatever thing, whether it's an intellectual atheist that thinks they know everything, or like a political guy, like a very heavily political guy that thinks I'm being naive, listen, I honestly don't care. And I don't really have hate for any of those people, right? I'm honestly going to be spreading the opinion I have, using the platform that I have, using the show that I have, and I think it's the right one. I truly believe that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. And through Christ, anything is made possible. Everyone can have peace through Christ Jesus, and that is really the ultimate truth. And the more people lean into that, I think the better society will become. I think that is the way we move forward, not through kind of continuing to move each other further and further apart. It's to find ways to unify each other, and I think there's no better way than belief in God and in the Lord Jesus Christ. So that's my piece. That is my political talk. That is the extent of what I'm going to be talking about. Don't focus on politics. That's my point. Even if you're not going to focus on God and on Christ, don't focus on politics. Find something else to unify you. I don't know what other thing could potentially unify you, but find something else to unify you, because politics is only there to divide, truly. It's only going to destroy you, really. It's only going to destroy you. It's only going to lead to so much hate. It's going to lead to other people hating you. And I've kind of felt it a little bit in my life, and I just don't like it. I don't like that type of a feeling ever. It just makes me feel a little bit gross whenever I have resentment for someone, or whatever I know someone else has resentment for me. It just makes me feel horrible. And so I lean towards the things that are more fruitful, more abundant. So I encourage you to do the same. That is my point. That is my piece. That is my political thoughts. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that like understand that like this is just my opinion, right? Understand that I'm not trying to be hateful. Maybe I said a couple of things that were a little bit hateful. Again, apologies. I already said a little disclaimer in the beginning of the video, but that is my political view. That is my idea on the world of politics, and I think that's just what you can do. All you can do is focus on yourself, right? You can't be focusing on what the people in office are doing because they're not going to help you. And if you trust in them and you lean on them, you're going to be very, very thoroughly disappointed. But you lean on God, God will never disappoint you. The people, the politics will disappoint you very often. So don't let that be the thing you focus on. Focus on God. Focus on something that is greater than yourself, something to unify you and the people around you rather than divide. That's all I got to say for today. Thank you for watching. Please show your support in any way that you can. Like the video, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify. Again, leave a comment, but try not to be hateful. Like, try to be a little bit impartial about things. I know it's hard because on the internet it's very easy. I might have said something like 10 minutes ago that you just already had commented about. Like I'm not trying to spread the hate, right? If you're gonna be a hateful person in the comments, I'm just gonna delete the comment. I'm not even gonna engage with it because that's not what I'm trying to do, right? If you're saying something and that you disagree with, but you're being impartial, you're being real about it, then we can have a conversation. But I'm not gonna be the type of guy to spread the hate. I'm trying my best to spread the love, and the ultimate love is through Christ Jesus. So that's all I gotta say. If you're gonna leave a comment, do it respectfully. But please show your support in any way that you can. I would appreciate it. I'm going to be making an episode every day for a whole year. We're getting through it. We're going through it. This is going to be probably my last little talk about politics. So rewatch the video because this is all there is. There's not going to be anything else, right? So that's all I got to say for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. As always, I will see you tomorrow for the next episode.